and I remember lighting the candle, and I remember the fire coming in my face, and it was really hot. But after that, not much.
And we actually shared your story with someone that you admire, and he has a message for you, so check it out.
What's up, Kylie? It's Justin here. I just wanted to say my prayers go out to you and your family, and get well soon. All right.
Aww. So it makes you realize that everyone's rooting for you, right?
Yeah.
And that people you would never expect in this world to care about you actually care about you more than you would ever know. Because you're special.
Oh my God!
First of all, I just wanted to say how proud I am of you.
Thank you.
And I think the message I want to get out there is that you inspire us so much. I think you inspire everybody in this audience, everybody across the world.
Lamar, what do you want to tell people out there who are struggling with addiction?
Well, the one thing I want to tell them is that they're not by themselves.
Well, and you mentioned the people in your life that you love, your kids, Chloe, and some of your, I'm assuming some of your good friends. When's the last time you were able to talk to them? You mentioned your kids, but in a way where you had a clear mind and a clear heart.
I mean, never, because when you're doing drugs, you live in a lie. So you're not, on your best day, you're not being honest.
So is your plan to reach out to some people that maybe...
Yeah, because I ran so many people away. Just from trying to carve out that little bit of time for that little 3 minutes of feel good. I pushed a lot of people away. So I would like to rekindle those relationships as time goes on.
And what's your #1 goal right now?
Myself.
Please help me give a warm welcome to the incomparable Betty White.
Well, what a nice greeting.
Isn't that cool?
They must have been expecting somebody else.
No, So please welcome Halsey to the show.
Fainting all the time, and I got misdiagnosed with chronic fatigue, with anxiety. They were telling me I was fainting because I was anxious. I said, I am anxious.
Yeah, it's understandable, right? Having anxiety after all
They say
of
it's
that.
stage fright.
Yes. And it wasn't until one of the first tours I'd ever done, I woke up in so much pain. I was bleeding so much. It was more blood than I've ever bled before. And our tour bus was parked outside of a hotel. I was so sick and I was in so much pain I thought I was going to vomit. And tour bus plumbing is not great for vomiting. So I wandered my way out of the tour bus into a hotel, into the lobby, and managed to get to a bathroom. And a couple minutes later, I woke up on the floor in that bathroom. And I pulled myself up and I walked back out through the parking lot, collapsed in the street outside of the bus. And my tour manager had to take me to the hospital. And the whole time I was there, no one knew what to tell me. Dehydration, stress, anxiety, and I'm saying, well, what about my pain? A lot of the time, they can make you think it's in your head. When I finally got my endometriosis diagnosis was with Dr. Aliyabadi. She took one look at me, and I explained to her my symptoms, and she said, you have endometriosis. And it was so bittersweet, because it was like the relief of knowing I wasn't making it all up, and I wasn't being sensitive, and it wasn't all in my head. But it also kind of sucked to know that I was going to be living with this forever.
Please welcome Grammy Award-winning artist, lead vocalist of Imagine Dragons, Dan Reynolds, to the show. You've been suffering from something that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah. Ankylosing spondylitis.
That's a mouthful.
And raise your hand if you heard of that. That's why we're talking about it.
All right.
And I don't think we've talked about it on the show yet.
Yeah, it's known as a hidden disease. And I'll just call it AS, so you guys...
Makes it easy.
Yeah, for me too. So it's a hidden disease, a lot of people don't know about it, and the basis of it is it's an autoimmune disease, but they also call it autoinflammatory. Because it's a hidden disease, it's often misdiagnosed in the beginning. So I actually saw a few doctors, and I had a doctor tell me that at first that it was sciatica, and then I had a doctor say, that it was arthritis, and just all different kinds of things. And so I was diagnosed when I was 23. I'm 29. And before I was diagnosed, I remember when it was at its peak, I couldn't even move. I really had to stand perfectly still on stage and was right at a microphone the entire time, just standing still because I was in so
painful.
It was so painful to move.
If kept untreated, you know, it can lead to your spine actually freezing up, becoming fibrotic. So that being said, so important that you identified what you have. You're in the hands of a rheumatologist, and hopefully things are going to be kept at bay. Please welcome three-time Emmy Award winner, best-selling author, comedian, Louis Anderson to the show. Yeah! What was your gateway to food addiction?
Well, my dad was an alcoholic, and whenever there was trouble after the fact, my mom would feed us. So maybe to comfort us, maybe to make herself feel better, maybe both. So that became a reward system after a stressful situation. And so food was so comforting, and I loved it, and it didn't have a stigma on it. You know, he's a drunk. He hardly ever say anyone, he's drunk on food, he's hammered on food. You know, food addiction is really, I know that there's a big opioid addiction and it's very serious, but food, I think, is bigger.
Clearly you're very humble, also very successful, but do you have a few things that you do to help maintain your health and clearly your youthful glow?
Really? Oh, brother.
There have to be a few things.
I walk. I live in the city. I walk a lot. Right now, that's all I have time for, but I also live in a house with like 4 or 5 flights of stairs, and I have a Fitbit.
What's your goal every day?
10,000 steps. Ooh. Yeah. But I think walking is great. Swimming, I love in the summer. I love to kayak.
Please welcome Major League Baseball legend Darryl Strawberry. I'll tell you, I'm really glad to have you on the stage because I followed your career growing up, and I'm just going to go ahead and ask you, how did you get to this place? How did you get clean? How did you take your life back?
Well, through Jesus Christ. I completely surrendered, and my life has been transformed by the power of God and found my purpose.
You realized you couldn't do it alone, could you?
Please welcome Nikki Sixx to the show. Hey guys.
I was an addict, a heroin addict, for exactly 1 year. And you know, my heart stopped for 2 minutes. And I came back, I went home, and I shot up again and overdosed again. I woke up the next day, and I kind of had like a spiritual awakening. That's the only reason the only way I can explain it, because I woke up and it was the first time I didn't want to do drugs.
Known for her role as Chrissy Snow on Three's Company, highlights your two story because for the most part, each and every night, you two are together, no matter what has happened during your day. For how long now?
Well,
we haven't spent a night apart in 37 years.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
That's some kind of record. We actually have a really, really special guest. We wanted you to meet along with George. He traveled all the way to the doctor's stage from a galaxy far, far away.
Oh my goodness.
Please welcome R2-D2 to the stage.
What's up, R2-D2? There we go.
You know, Bella, I'm pretty sure that R2-D2 has a little message for you. I want you to look right up there, Bella.
Hi, Bella, it's Mark Hamill. You remember Luke Skywalker? I hear you're in the studio with my old buddy R2-D2, and he tells me you're strong, courageous, and never give up. And that means one thing to me: the Force is strong with you, Bella. Have a great day, and maybe one day Millie can play with your dog, George. They'd make a great couple, don't you think?